Hey, welcome guys. We are in chapter 11 of our Photoshop book, Adobe Photoshop Creative Cloud Revealed, and we are working on colors this chapter. So we're going to start out by opening up Photoshop 11-1, and we are going to save this as Valentine Candy. I'm just going to shorten that to Valentine. And then we're going to click the default foreground and background colors button to make sure that we have the default colors in there. And then we're going to change the zoom factor to 100%. Mine's currently at 66.67. I'm going to change it to 100% and hit tab. Return. All right, we're going to display the photograph workspace. So if I move this over just slightly, you'll see that Essentials is currently being displayed, and I am going to go down to Photography. All right, then we're going to click the green heart layer on the Layers panel. We're going to click the Color Balance button on the Adjustments panel. And then we're going to click the This adjustment affects all layers below. And this clicks, then what happens is this particular layer adjustment only impacts that one layer that's below it, which is basically what that choice is saying. All right, then we're going to drag the sliders so the midtone settings in the color levels text box are -40 for cyan and red, +80 for magenta and green, and -20 for yellow blue. And hit tab. And then collapse the properties panel to the dock. And compare your image to figure 2 or mine on the screen, and you'll see that that definitely intensified the color of that particular candy. All right, now we're going to work on modifying curves, and so again we're going to click the green heart layer, then we're going to click the Curves button on the Adjustments panel. We're going to click the center of the graph at the point where the line All right, sorry, I wanted to make sure that we had the appropriate panel still associated with this, or the adjustment panel with this, because it says click the green heart layer and then click the Curves button, but it shows the wrong icon for that. So if you look, this is the color balance that we just used, and we want the curves, which is right up here, and this is the appropriate icon that you should check. So if you read, you're fine, but if you look at the little symbols, you might have had issues. So we want to make sure that we have the green heart layer clicked, and then we're going to go up here and we are going to go to the Curves button, and then this brings up the little histogram or slider, and we're going to click the center of the graph at the point on the line where the input and the output values both equal 127, which is right about here, right? You are going to drag the pointer down or type in the value so that the input value equals 127 and the output equals 99. And hit tab. This is not an exact science. Don't worry if you can't get the input and output values exactly as stated, but notice that the image's colors do change as you drag the line. Now we're going to click the point where the curve intersects the right vertical grid line. Input value equals approximately 191. And the output value approximately 178. You may have to click in the gray area. And the point that you click in the curves graph is called active setting. We're going to drag that active setting up as needed until the input and output values are both approximately 190. Oh yeah, so that's not going to work. I'm just going to do 190 and hit tab, and 190 and hit tab. And there we go. Now you want to verify that this adjustment clips to the layer, so we're going to click to affect all layers below button is selected. And it is. And then even after you select the active setting, you can also change its location by changing the values in the input-output boxes, which is exactly what I did. All right, we're going to collapse the property panels to the dock. I'm going to move this over to this. And then we're going to do a Command or Control S to save our work. And then we want to compare our screen to figure 4. Yeah, I must have modified my curves a lot more than what the textbooks did because it doesn't look very, I'm going to turn this off a minute to see what it looked like. Okay, so if I turn off the color that we had done previously, I'll just bring my layers over where you can see it. The color adjustment, I turned that off and then just turned on the curves, and that indeed did have an impact on all of the layers below it. All right, I'm going to do one more of these exercises, then I'll upload this, this one for Chapter 11 and may do one more for you. All right, so we are going to saturate a color range now, and we're going to click the yellow heart layer on the Layers panel to make it active. And then we're going to click the Hue Saturation button on the Adjustments panel. And then we're going to make sure that when using color adjustments, you can use the preset buttons on the Properties panel, or you can select the desired adjustments from the Image menu. So I'm not sure where that image memo, I guess under Image, and then Adjustments, and down here is what they're talking about in terms of being able to do one or use one or the other in terms of creating your adjustments. All right, so we're going to click the Master List arrow on the Properties panel and click Yellows. We're going to click this adjustment affects all layers below. Click to clip the layer, which is exactly what we're doing. If we did not click on this, or if we left this unselected, then this adjustment would apply to all of the layers underneath that particular adjustment layer. If we click on this button, then it's only going to impact the yellow layer underneath it. Now we're going to drag the saturation slider to plus 60. I don't do any of that dragging anymore. I'm just going to type it in. We're going to collapse the Properties panel to the dock, and then we are going to compare our image to figure 7 or mine on the screen. I'm just going to turn this off for a moment so you can see the impact that that saturation had. All right, now I will be back in just a moment to start working with the sponge tool.